The journey has taken them through dozens of small villages that cling to the edges of the Glomere Swamp, also known as the Black Bog, places where life is slow and the air is thick with mist, and people live in uneasy harmony with the encroaching wilds. And as we pan across the party composition, let's introduce our characters and describe them for those watching at home. And let's start with our good friend Andrew.
Of course. I'm playing the little kobold Drake Warden Ranger named Snaggletooth. He's missing his 2 front teeth from an adventure a long time ago, so he's stuck with a permanent lisp. He's this little dragon-headed kind of guy, probably standing only at about 2 feet tall. He lets his dragon do the majority of the heavy lifting for him.
Nice. Wando, who are you playing today?
I'm playing a Loxodon named Doug, who is a old farmer. His farm was recently ransacked, so he's out trying to adventure and find some wealth to rebuild his farm. He stands about 8 feet tall. He's got gray skin. He's wearing overalls and a straw hat. And he's not the brightest cookie in the world.
Nice. And as the party adventures, they know him well. And the next character we know well, Jay, who are you playing tonight?
I will be playing Demetrius, the warlock, tonight. You see a well-dressed gentleman in some magical breastplate. More magic than metal, but you can see he's well protected. His staff always glowing a nice arcane blue. Thinks he's smarter than he is, but he's just here because he's bored. He likes to get into a little bit of a rough and tumble, and he knows that wherever these guys go, usually danger follows. So excited to be there.
Indeed. And speaking of danger, last but not least, Randy, who are you playing?
I am playing Sephirendi, an Eladrin bard, who's here because last week he looked in his coin pouch, and discovered he only had 5 gold.
That is...
So it's time to work again.
The truth.
Funny, I could swear there was more the last time I looked in there.
There was, but times are tough. And the village of Oakhaven is no different, yet it is so small it feels isolated, as if the surrounding swamp has deliberately kept it apart from the wider world. The air here is still and carries a damp scent of the nearby mire, and the buildings are simple wooden structures, most showing signs of age and the harshness of the swamp's environment. You see a few villagers going about their tasks with a noticeable lack of energy and enthusiasm. Their faces are etched with worry, and they cast nervous glances towards the dark tree line of the swamp. And as you walk through this village, you notice a small general store with a sign creaking in the breeze called Pippin's Provisions. Further down, as you continue walking, a slightly larger building that stands with a wooden door that's closed, sign saying closed. And the sign reads Community Hall. This is the village tavern. Towards the edge of the village and overlooking the swamp, as you continue on, is a slightly more substantial dwelling. A faint light flickers in the window, and you can hear the low murmur of voices talking with some concern. Overall, the atmosphere is one of quiet despair, a stark contrast to what you might expect from a close-knit community. A palpable sense of unease hangs in the air. The villagers move with slumped shoulders and worried expressions. Momentarily, the door of the home opens and an older man emerges, his hands trembling as he leans heavily on a gnarled walking stick. He introduces himself as Hemlock, the village elder. His voice cracks with desperation, similar to mine, as he speaks. "Brave travelers," he pleads, his eyes filled with worry. "Please, you must help us. Our village is in grave danger. A few nights ago, a terrible thing happened. The Sunstone Orb, our protector for generations, was stolen. Without it, the swamp will surely consume us. The fogs are thicker, the creatures bolder. We are desperate. I don't have much to offer, but I will give you everything I have if you can retrieve it for us. The man leans forward, his weathered face half hidden in the dim light and his voice low, weary as if the walls might be listening. Some folks say they saw tracks leading into the swamp. He kind of points his finger in the direction. Big ones, not natural. No one's here full enough to follow, not after the last time. He lets the words hang in the air, the unspoken warning clear. So party, what happens now?
I assure him we are definitely foolish enough to follow.
Did anybody see what type of creatures?
Unfortunately, we didn't see it. It happened in the dead of night, and, well, everything's so slow here. We usually sleep at night.
So, are you sure you didn't, just leave it under something, or... when last time I lost something important, it was kind of buried underneath my pillow.
He laughs. Yes, I'm sure. Look at the swamp. It encroaches on our village already. The sunstone orb keeps the swamp at bay, keeps it from overgrowing out into the greater central area of Vostar. But we would know. You can't miss it. It's a golden light. It looks like the sun, and it hurts when you look directly at it. You can't miss it in the dark swamp.
All right, well, we all gonna go out there then? Can we go maybe look at the trail? Maybe we'll pick up what kind of animal it was by the feet it left behind?
Sounds like a plan. Doug, do not look directly at the sun.
Okay.
Well done.
I don't know.
There are 2 other buildings in this village. If you would like, you can look to gather information, and or the elder will point you to the only obvious paths. The one you came in on, the other one that continues along the swamp, and the other that continues deeper into the swamp. The swamp is overgrown. You can smell it from here. The trees bend and sway, stuck in that position, as if they've been petrified by some wizard spell. And the buzz of insects you can hear is palpable.
Y'all ever notice whenever we walk through here, it's all kind of tilted? The trees are tilted, the houses are tilted, the people are kind of tilted. Is it just me?
What's tilted?
So, yeah, straight, and I'll stand up straight. And then you got tilted, and I'll intentionally drop one side. Tilted. Like when you carry something heavy on one shoulder.
Hmm.
Just me? All right, I'll continue on. Is it all right if we take a look at the other 2 shops here before we head out?
No, they might be interesting.
Yeah.
As you head back towards the community hall, it's closed. Nobody's celebrating here in the middle of the day. But you do find that Pippin's Provisions is open.
Well, I got 5 silver weighing down my coin purse, so might as well take a peek in.
You enter the building, and there is a very nicely made desk, but I think Snaggletooth finds this the perfect height, because standing behind it is a halfling man with fuzzy brown hair, but he's got a very pensive and worried look on his face. He's writing in a journal or perhaps a ledger, and he's shaking his head. The weekend, the sun's come back. We can't. Nobody's going to come through here, and the swamp's going to cover my store, and I won't be able to sell anything to adventurers. And, oh, speaking of, hello, good folk. My name is Pippin. How can I help you today? He scratches his mane of brown hair. The look of worry still obvious on his face.
Oh, we're going to be going out in the swamp here in a little bit. We're just wondering if you got any supplies or anything like that we may be interested in.
You're gonna go after the orb?
I'm pretty sure that's what we just agreed to. Yeah.
And okay, 1 second. And he turns around and he starts rifling through the shelves. The shelves are covered with all different kind of adventuring gear. And he comes to a 4-sided rack. And inside those rack, you find, or you see small potions with red liquid in them. And he turns around and he hands it to you. You just saved my business if you're able to pull this off. For my gratitude, I'm going to give you some potions. And he will give each of you an additional healing potion.
Well, thank you very much, sir. I think you can keep that 5 silver there.
Oh, no, please. It's no charge. You see, the store has been in my family for generations, and, well, I don't want to move. Quite frankly, I like it here.
You don't got to twist my arm about it. I'll take it.
Is there anything else that I can get the 4 of you? No?
I'll look at my compatriots.
No, I doubt that they have anything that would be of assistance. As I look around the dirty little shop.
Yeah,
You never know. Sometimes the best treasures are buried under dirt.
This one gets it. That's what I keep telling Hemlock is if you go out and digging in the dirt, you're bound to find something. Sometimes it's not so good.
Yeah. All right, I think that'll do it then, sir.
Okay, well, good luck. I really appreciate it.
I would be standing there trying to practice being crooked, and I would slightly fall off to the side and bump into a bunch of things and knock a whole bunch of stuff over.
Oh, don't worry. I'll pick those up. That's okay. That's okay. You can. You should get out in the swamp before the sunset. It gets really dark in the swamp at night. Believe me, I got lost once. My goodness. If it wasn't for my big feet, I wouldn't have been able to find my way back.
Oh, I have big feet.
Yeah, you do, buddy. All right. Well, speaking of feet, I think we might want to go look at some feet as it is right now anyways. So, thank you very much, mister. We'll try to put the red liquid to good use. Hopefully not, though.
Good luck. And if you need anything else, hopefully I'll be here for years to come.
I'll kind of tip the side of my big old snout and then start walking on out.
And as the party makes its way out back into the town proper, instead of going right to exit the town, you hang a left at the elder's home. And almost instantly, the firm ground gives way to a quagmire of thick, brown mud that clings to your boots, even here on the path. Although mechanically there are no issues, you know if you step off the path, you could get stuck. You've been through several of these towns, and the rumors are quicksand and giant bugs that fly through the air and insects that buzz constantly, and the oppressive heat and mist that tends to settle through this swamp area. Each step is a labored effort. In the air, once carrying the faint scent of the wood smoke from the village, now reeks of stagnant water and decaying leaves. Towering cypress and willow trees, their trunks draped with artemisian moss, form a dense canopy overhead. dimming the already weak sunlight and casting the swamp in perpetual twilight. The path, if it can be called that, is barely discernible track winding through slightly less dense vegetation and with a few submerged obstacles. Thanks, Solid. Appreciate it. Tangled roots snake across the muddy ground like grasping fingers, and thorny vines reach out from the undergrowth, snagging at your clothes and equipment. The silence of the swamp is broken only by an incessant buzz of insects, mosquitoes, dragonflies, abnormally large dragonflies, unidentifiable flying creatures, and the occasional splash or croak from the unseen depths. Water alongside the trail is dark and still, reflecting the distorted shapes of the trees and the heavy, low-hanging clouds. A thin mist begins to curl around your feet, further obscuring the already limited visibility and adding to the sense of isolation.
The Dunderheads just redeemed heroic inspiration.
Inspiration. Dunderheads redeemed inspiration. Doug, you got a heroic inspiration. Make sure you keep track of that because you can use it all night.
Thanks.
So, let's see if we can get a DC 13 survival check from the group.
All right. I'm trained in survival, or is this going to be a big old group check?
Anybody who is trained can help any others who are trained to give them advantage. The group can also roll their own survival check if they would like. That is a
I'll
17.
give somebody else assistance.
All right.
Mine was in that 20.
-3 for a 17. That's a 21 for Demetrius.
I will take the advantage then.
Yep. And an additional 21 for Snaggletooth. So as you're looking along the path, on the right-hand side of the path, you see some abnormally large three-toed footprints. It's 3.5 feet wide by 4 feet long. There are two of them as if it is a bipedal beast that is walking along the side of this road, if you can call it a road. Additionally, this area has quicksand ponds in different areas ahead of you. You can spot them. The green algae grows and then it becomes a brown algae as it hangs over the quicksand before returning to green algae and muck. You know with your 21 survival check that if you step off the path, it's going to be extremely hard to move as the mud will suck at your boots and make it difficult.
All right. I will immediately start looking at everybody's toes, seeing if anybody large here in our group has 3 toes. I'm assuming not.
What is everybody wearing on their feet? If they are wearing anything.
I'm just wearing boots.
Not my best boots.
My feet,
'cause
but I got 5 toes.
I'm also just chilling with feet, but I got 4 claws.
Nice. So definitely not somebody in your party or anybody who looks like the folks in your party, because these tracks are abnormally large. And as you continue on, the overhang of the swamp continues to grow thicker and larger. Before long, you come to a point in the road where there's a path that moves to your left and a path that moves to your right. What happens now?
Do the footsteps go either direction?
Give me a survival check.
I would love that.
Anybody can take this survival check or provide advantage if you're proficient.
As a 22.
22 is good. Except for Andy got a 12. The large tracks head to the left. There's a set of smaller tracks, and you also spot what looks like a button or a piece of leather that heads to the path on the right. That looks like one person not wearing boots who has passed here within the last 72 hours. The large footprints is one large creature that has passed within the last 24 hours.
All right, guys. I need you to remind me. How long's the sun orb been gone? It's been like a couple of days, or did it just happen?
Sounded like it just happened.
All right, because we got Little Toes going that way, Bigfoot going that way. Oh, do you guys think it's Sasquatch? No, Sasquatch has more toes.
I mean, I wouldn't say no to an appetizer if you want to go to the right.
That's true. Reggie's probably pretty hungry too. All right. But I'll pick up the leather piece. Like, I'm guessing the person on the right is probably a little bit more sapient than the person on the left. You know, if you're into that kind of thing, I don't know.
Oh no, that's my favorite.
So, let me get this right. You like eating people that can think.
I mean, eating would be a loose definition of it.
I'm
We'll see.
just asking, you know?
I mean,
Not trying to yuck your yum, you know.
don't worry. If I snack on anybody, it's going to be the big guy over there.
What? You think No, I don't want to ask that question, actually. Never mind. All right. Team vote. Which way we want to go? Big guy or little guy?
I'm just standing there counting the toes. 1, 2.
I vote big guy.
All right. We got one for big guy, and we got one for 2.
Well, I put a little guy, so.
Little guy. All right. Doug, if that is Doug, buddy, you're doing real good on counting. But
Big
do you know
guy.
left? Big guy. All right. I was thinking big guy too. So it sounds like big guy.
All right, lead the way.
And as you continue,
I'm just
sorry, go ahead.
I'm just a little guy. I don't want to lead. Like,
But you're the ranger, obviously, right? The leader through the
fuck. You're right, God. I'm sorry.
through the swamp. Everybody looks to you, and you head down the path. On the path, on the right-hand side of the path, you see some broken trees covered in moss that have been recently broken. On the left-hand side, small, what look like, almost like stalagmites, but they have hollowed out centers and an odd mushroom, red colored, that glows in the shadows of these figures, or in these within these structures. And the footsteps continue on the right-hand side of the path. What happens now?
They follow the footsteps.
You continue to follow the footsteps. And as you're walking along the path, you walk near one of these logs, looking at one of these footsteps. And there is a small, almost tiny creature with, it looks like it has almost a humanoid type face. And it leaps from this fallen tree, its fangs extended, very much in the way that Demetrius likes to attack his prey. And we're gonna roll some initiative. So let me activate the scene and get everybody onto the tracker. Give me one moment while I pull out your tokens so I can make sure I get them correct, because I didn't know which path you were going to take. And as I gather you all back together,
I do think while we're walking away, I'm still trying to talk Doug into eating the red mushroom on the way back. I'm like, I'm pretty sure it's got like really good health benefits for you.
Okay.
I heard that like one guy when they eat the mushrooms, he gets like really, really big. So you could be an even bigger guy.
They look good.
you can put yourself where you want to be, but the Doug and Snaggletooth and his companion. Who's your companion and what does he look like?
I'm a Drake Warden Ranger, so I got a. Oh, sorry, I thought that was natural 20. I got really excited for it. I'm Drake Warden Ranger, so I got a little buddy named Reggie, who is this blue drake that I get to ride around on and shoot from. He's
nice.
Awesome and much cooler than I am.
Yes, he is. Can everybody see the battle map with the large creatures? Footprints on the right-hand side.
Footprints I see.
No creatures.
Yeah, I see a creature.
Yeah, this is the little guy that jumped out to attempt to bite at you. And we will start the initiative with Sephirendi.
Okay, I'll move up. And by the way, I've been walking with my weapons out the whole time.
Mm-hmm.
So
I assume so.
I will attempt to, make an attack.
Yep, this little creature, this unsure beast. Its armor class is 15 as it has a rough, hardened hide. That is a 9 that misses as it moves much faster than you think as it leaps from place to place within its space.
Okay, I'll attack with my other weapon. A bit better.
A 23 hits this creature as you breach the carapace for 5 points of damage.
And I'm going to spend a Bardic Inspiration and make that a slashing, and do a defensive flourish.
What does that do for you?
So it adds more damage and it raises my AC till the beginning of my next turn.
Nice.
So another 5 points of damage and my AC goes up by 5.
This creature is bloodied and hurt. With the commotion, you see other creatures also matching its description start to pop out from the different locations. Anything else, Sephirendi?
That's it for me.
Demetrius, it is your turn.
Lost it.
All right, seeing our new friends, I will go ahead and aim for one of the ones in the back. As you can see, I'm targeting
this one here.
the one in the back. Yep.
Yep.
And I will go ahead and cast a bit of a hex. You see Demetrius' shadow sort of leave his feet and go and attach itself to that creature.
Very cool.
And I guess I'll give it strength. Who cares? But I'm going to go ahead and use that was a bonus action, I believe. I know it's been a while. I'm tired. Yes, bonus action for Hex. So I will use my action to Eldritch Blast. That should hit.
A 19 will hit. What does your Eldritch Blast look like?
The Eldritch Blast is just you see the orb on top of Demetrius's rod start glowing a vivid blue, and then it's just a sphere that shoots out quick as lightning.
Nice.
And I will go ahead and follow that up with a second bolt.
Do you get any
That
extra
should
damage for
also-
your hex?
I do. And I don't know if it is rolling the +3. I just roll terribly. Okay.
Okay.
So I will just roll the 2d6 for the hex now. Those rolled well.
Wow.
So
Yeah.
12 plus 9 is 21 damage total.
As your hex flies through the air, just missing Sephirendi, but you guys have practiced this maneuvers many a time, and your blue bolt flies through the air, and this shadowy aura that has enveloped this creature starts to disintegrate it from without, and it sinks back into the mud. You have vanquished your foe. Well done.
I'll just shift to make sure that I'm not stepping in any of that icky quicksand, and I'll end my turn.
This next creature will, let's do a D3, 1, 2, Snaggletooth, 3, 4, Reggie, 5, 6, Sephirendi. Sephirendi, can I get a DC 14 dexterity saving throw, please? Well done. This little guy literally launches itself out of the mud. You see it shrink down, squat down, and then its tail starts to shake back and forth in the mud much faster than it should be. And it launches itself at you, but you're able to dodge to the side. Its mouth wide open, much wider than its body. And you feel if it would have gotten stuck to you, it could have been bad news. This next creature will continue forward. It doesn't look like it is affected by the mud. And I will reveal a couple of things for the party since you spotted the quicksand earlier. And it is going to attempt to, or jumping to attach itself to the enemy. The ritual jump, jump, jump. Nope. I think it is going to no, it's going to move towards, it's going to use its action to move towards Doug. And this last little guy will also move up. It's jumping from like 10 feet at a time as it moves forward towards the party. But it is Snaggletooth. Snaggletooth, it's your turn.
Thank you. Snaggletooth is going to be like, no, come here. As he's going to walk on forward.
Don't forget you can dismount.
My buddy.
Yep, if you want.
Moved him up.
Nice. Well done.
And I will... Yeah. He will get face to face and then shoot with his crossbow at the one directly in front of him. Boom. And then at the same time, he's going to bonus action command Reggie to bite the other one.
Very cool.
I go off correctly. Yeah, I did. I never get to be a player for this kind of stuff. So this
Right. A 17 hits this creature as you aim just beyond Sephirendi, slams into its red carapace, sinking deep. The blood of its body drips onto the ground, a vibrant red.
Nope, fuck off. And
Ooh.
11 points for that one.
Did you do the
as
one
Reggie's
on the top or the one below it?
the one on the top.
Yep. As your crossbow bolt sinks into this creature, the blood oozes it as the ground drinks in its viscera.
Oh, awesome. I didn't even have to use the
Nope.
the other part of that then. Sweet.
Second attack or bonus action?
No, Reggie as a reaction can amp my damage, but instead they'll just bite the other guy.
That is a 23 to hit.
And then can he amp his own damage, or is that only other people?
I think it says when a creature hits another creature that you can see. Is that what it is? It should say it
It's with
underneath.
a weapon attack.
Got it.
So unfortunately, this is a.
But your teeth are
it's
weapons.
a natural weapon. So yeah.
Yeah.
So he will do an additional.
It says when another creature hits him.
You're right.
Yeah.
All right, never mind. He will not do an additional anything.
Yep, he still got his reaction.
Yep. So he did 4 points of damage with his bite.
Nice. Creature's barely injured.
And that'll be my turn.
All right. Doug, it is your go. The swamp is sucking at your large round feet with 5 toes.
Doug would kind of almost be oblivious to what's going on because he was interested in the mushroom, and he'd go to like pick one that he was gonna eat, and then he sees this weird creature come up to him, looking all scary. He switches his focus to the creature and pulls out his maul. You're not nice, and I will swing at it twice.
Make your attacks. AC is 15. Ooh, 11 damage. It's near death.
And 14 for the second hit.
Yeah, I think, Doug, what does it look like? Like your sheer massive size and power in your overalls just completely crushes this small blood leech.
I would say it looks like it hits it, but you don't really see it because the maul's pretty large. And then when he pulls the maul up, the creature's not even there. It's just smashed into the muck.
Yep. Nice. Any bonus action movement?
I'll do some movement.
Anything off the main path is difficult terrain. So, yeah, you can get there with your movement. 30 feet? Yeah.
In my turn.
Except for Indy, it is your go.
I'm going to attempt to slice this guy up.
25 easily hits. Any additional damage?
No.
The Dunderheads just redeemed heroic inspiration.
Except for Indy, you have received a heroic inspiration from the team. These are cumulative, so you can use them and get as many as you want. And Demetrius, you also get a heroic inspiration. So everybody has one, but you can only use one at a time on each roll. So there is that. So that total was 6 and then 4. Are you putting any more damage on top of it?
No.
All right, this creature is bloodied and injured. The carapace breaking apart. You see the cracks coming through as this blood red liquid begins to ooze from it. Does that end your turn?
That ends my turn, yes.
All right. Demetrius.
You see Demetrius's shadow kind of get up and turn into a bat-like creature and flutter over to the other beast as I move the hex. And we'll go ahead and rinse and repeat. Eldritch Blast. 6 of damage. I'm good at those. Good at the 6s. 17 total damage.
Wow. How do you vanquish your most fearsome foe here in the swamp, Demetrius?
It's just you see the orb lightning quick hitting its target, and then just a fine red mist where Bloodleech used to be.
And that will drop us out of combat.
I'll twirl and pretend to sheath my rod as if it's a sword.
You know, we can get you a scabbard or something for it, like a carrying case, or you know.
It's fine. Normally I use it as a walking cane, but this terrain isn't worthy of my rod.
Oh, do you want to ride on? You want to ride on Reggie?
I haven't eaten today. It's best if I don't.
Oh, okay.
And my shadow will come and flutter around me. Since I cast it at 3rd level, I can concentrate on it for up to 8 hours.
Noted. You are concentrating and you marked yourself. Thank you. Well done. Can I get a... Let me read what we have going on here. DC 14 perception check. That's pretty good.
Apparently not.
As you look here in the distance, you see what looks like a large clump of palm trees, but their leaves are withered and brown. About a mile off, this swamp seems like it angles down from this position before it comes up a little bit, and you see this thing in the distance. But what you also see is alongside these large tracks of this obvious dinosaur or some kind of creature are similar tracks that you saw leading the other way at the fork in the road. So it looks like they might have doubled back and also walked this way.
Would I be able to determine which one seems fresher? Like which one was the first track through, and which one's the double back?
Yeah, I think with that successful survival check, the large creature is within the last 24 hours, but the other creature was within the last 3 days.
All right, I think we're actually tracking. We had the same decision to make. Well, we went big guy first time around. Now we got little guy who's still going the other direction, but it looks like they actually wound up going the same way. So, is this like does it? I feel like we're gonna run into them regardless.
Yeah. Sometimes the appetizer comes a little late, served with the main course. Still delightful either way.
You creep me out when you talk like that, man. All right.
Little big guy, and I will eat one of the mushrooms.
Nice.
Oh no, he actually did. I stare at him intently, waiting to see a reaction.
Nothing happens. There's some red juice that comes from these mushrooms. It tastes like iron. It tastes like your copper pieces, honestly.
That's good.
Oh,
And I'll
I think
eat like 5 more.
We'll roll over that perception check, Snaggletooth. These are blood cap mushrooms that these blood leeches also feed on.
Oh.
Oh,
Right. Mm-hmm.
don't mind if I do.
I was literally about to be like, "Yo, Demetrius, I think we got you set up."
I was feeling a little peckish.
It's not an appetizer, but it's kind of like an hors d'oeuvre.
I will take a few for the road.
Yep. You have yourself some blood cap mushrooms.
I'll take one too, actually.
Nice.
Feed one to Reggie.
This is my party.
Steffi, there's enough to go around.
Yeah, there's like plenty here.
I'm good. Maybe later.
Listen, it's kind of like you need fruit when you go out to sea. You're gonna get iron deficient if you don't eat here in the swamp.
All right. Defeating the blood leeches. What would the party like to do?
Wait, hold on. Did you say we ate blood leeches? I thought we ate the mushrooms.
You ate the
They
mushrooms. You've defeated the blood leeches.
Oh, okay. Sorry, my bad. I was like, wait a minute, what?
What happened? Oh, good. That's
Slimy
funny.
yet satisfying.
It's true.
Let's just continue to casually pick the blood caps as we go.
Nice. And as you continue on, the swamp, or the path in the swamp, starts to descend before it starts to ascend, and you find yourself on the outskirts of what looks like a brown palm tree clump of trees. And rounding the bend, you see what looks like a raised wooden walkway that continues into some type of clearing. And let's go ahead and take like 5 minutes. I need to fix my cam, and we'll be right back. All right. Welcome back to LRN. I have some quick things to do for my camera, if you don't mind me doing them. And
I
we
don't think
will.
they have a choice.
Zip. And here we go. All right. And as the party continues on, I just want to shout out our artist who made our tokens borders called ASKV Art. I've had them for a while, but I think she did a great job at building them for us. Also, this is one of the maps that I created earlier this week. It's going to be part of the one-shot documentation. If you want to grab it, it'll be on my Patreon. But enough about me. Let's talk about our party as you guys approach this clearing in the distance. And what you see is a raised wooden bridge with rope handholds. Every 10 feet or so, you see on both sides of this raised walkway poles holding ropes. Ropes are brittle and worn and old. And in the center of this clearing, there is an old, dilapidated hut that sits there with iron barrels sitting up on the backside. And somebody give me a intelligence check, or you can argue for something that if you look at what a moonshine manufacturing place might be, or a still or distillery, you can make that check as well, because this is an old moonshine place that makes booze here in the middle of the swamp.
Doug's got to have moonshine proficiency, right?
Doesn't look like it. He just drinks the stuff. He doesn't make it.
Wait, I just noticed Doug has a -3 to intelligence.
It's got a -3 to a lot of things.
What the fuck, guys?
Whoops.
All right.
It's battle time, huh?
No,
Oh,
hit the wrong button. I'm just that guy. Yeah, I don't think any of you know what a still is, but sitting in this clearing, there's a single house. These rusted barrels are propped up against it, and in the back there looks like there is a bench, like a park bench. It has a long tabletop with two benches on each side, and what sits there is a silver mug, handmade, and next to it an empty bottle. And on the silver mug there are what look like spider webs. What happens now?
sorry. I can't get over Doug's stat spread.
Yep. Doug is brilliant.
My God. What?
That's his nickname, Doug the Brilliant.
Yep.
As I'm staring up at the sun.
But what's really sad is he's not that much dumber than most of the rest of the party.
All right there, Doug. I think now's your chance.
Okay.
Bridge looks like no go. It probably can't carry you. So you're gonna have to toss us.
Okay.
All right. I'm gonna put this piece of rope here. I'm gonna tie it to just to make sure I actually have this mentally checked out in my head correctly. There's an old rickety bridge.
Yep.
That looks to the naked eye super dilapidated and probably not safe.
You can give me a perception check if you want, or if you want to argue for another ability or skill.
No, I'll take perception. That's fine.
Yeah, perception is good. Yes, it is absolutely old. In fact, it probably won't hold Doug. What's growing underneath them are some blue-colored mushrooms. The ropes that connect them together are very brittle and frayed, as if succumbing to the swamp surrounding it. And there's a path you can walk alongside it, but it would take a little while to get there, as opposed to if you're somebody of your size, Snaggletooth's size, who could probably easily walk across it. Or, in fact, you could have Reggie fly you over there.
I don't think Reggie flies yet. As much as I would love to. Don't think he flies yet. Yeah, I'm looking at a stat block right now. He doesn't get flying until much later. So
Okay, cool.
I'm like, all right. All right, guys, we can take the long way around, or we can try to shore up this side over here. And I'm little enough. I got some rope. If you guys don't mind holding it down over here, and I'll go run to the other side and see if I can get this all straightened out. Because I think if Doug steps on this, he's just going through, and then we're gonna lose him forever.
How far is this bridge?
How far or how long?
How long is the bridge?
The bridge is pretty long. It looks to be, from beginning to end, well over 100 feet.
Okay.
Oh.
And how long does the path look like it'd take to traverse?
I mean, it runs just along the bridge, but it's just, the swamp would be sucking at your feet, and so it would take you twice as long to traverse it. And who knows what lives there, but that is completely up to you.
Snaggletooth, are you on your mount right now?
Yeah, but I can hop off.
Oh, I was just wondering if you were mounted or not. I was going to do something.
Sure. Whatever.
I would
for you, bud.
I would grab you by the back of your pants or shorts, whatever you're wearing, and pick you up and say, "I toss now."
Hold on, and I'll drop some rope and be like, all right, guys, I only got 50 feet of rope. You got the rest?
I got 50 feet.
All right, I think if you tie that end to that end, then you toss me, I think we'll be good.
Say go.
We let Doug do the tying.
No.
He's like, hell no.
You know, Brady boy, if you could do it, that'd be great.
Demetrius and Sephiroth look at each other.
I didn't even let him respond. I started moving. Fine. I'll tie the rope.
All right.
And I will watch Doug try this toss.
It'll be
All
great.
right, Doug, I'm holding on to the side tight.
You
You gotta toss me.
slip knot, right?
I haven't tied knot on this side yet.
Is it time?
I think it's time.
All right, I get up to the edge and I start winding him up like a windmill.
Mm-hmm.
And then on the upswing, I will give him a good toss.
Give me an athletics check to see how far you throw your friend, Snaggletooth.
Terrified that you're gonna say on the downswing you let go. That was the end of Snaggletooth. He was splattered on the ground.
19 is pretty good. You chuck him pretty far. How much does Snaggletooth weigh? Like 40 pounds soaking wet?
Pretty much, yeah.
Yeah, you're able to make it halfway across the bridge. And what you
didn't
see,
make it.
what you see, Snaggletooth, after you push yourself through the dense thicket of these thorny bushes and that crossing the algae-choked stream, you see in the center of the clearing is a dilapidated wooden shack. Its timbers are gray and rotting and its roof sagging precariously. The structure looks as if it's been abandoned for quite some time. Moss clings to the walls and vines snake through broken window panes. Scattered around the shack are the rustling remains of a moonshine still. Large dented metal boiler lies on its side, connected to a jumble of broken copper pipes. Several overturned barrels, their staves cracked and moldering, are strewn about the clearing. Some still contain dried fermented remnants of mash? The air carries a faint, sweet, sour odor and a ghostly reminder of the illicit activity that once took place here. Clearing is small and offers little in the way of natural cover. Surrounding vegetation is dense and overgrown, providing ample hiding places for any creatures that might have taken up residence in the abandoned still. Sense of decay still permeates the area. There are subtle signs, broken crate, discarded piece of rope that suggest the clearing might have been used more recently. But you find yourself halfway across this bridge.
All right. I will tie a loop onto one of the supporting struts here. That way we have something to hold on to if anybody wants to attempt the rickety bridge, and then I will continue on across the rest of the way and do the same thing at the end.
All right, you're able to tie it across. I would say mechanically everybody will make it across the bridge. Doug, every time you step, you hear the crack and creak of these dilapidated, broken, old, rotted pieces of wood. But you find yourself here at the camp. Well, I say camp because there is a lit fire here to the right-hand side. Can everybody see the map?
Yep.
Yep.
This fire is lit here to the right. The shack here is broken. There are spider webs that cling to the interior parts of the jungle. Other pieces of spider web are mingled throughout. Vines are weaving themselves in and out of broken window panes. But what happens now?
The shack's door is there or no door?
It is there, but it is hanging off one hinge, just barely open.
I'd walk up and I'd just kind of push it over.
You push it over, and where you push, it crumbles as if it's moldy particle board underneath your athletic assault on this board, being in the composition that it is in, and it kind of becomes mildewy dust that floats to the ground.
What do I see inside?
What you see inside are old desks, or at least tables, that contain metal vials, Bunsen burners, copper tubing that probably connected outside to the distilling machine. But there are also a lot of cobwebs.
Moonshine, guys. And then I will
now he
just
knows shit.
attempt to push myself through the door, which I probably barely fit, so I end up going sideways, but my gut still doesn't fit.
Yeah, and in fact, as you step through, you don't realize that the cobwebs that are clinging to the different pieces of furniture here are much thicker on the ground. Give me a DC 12 strength saving throw. Easily, you feel your foot get kind of caught, and then you kick it, and you're able to move your feet. But it is certainly something that you take note of, that, oh, that's sticky, as Doug would.
It's sticky in here. And then I would just continue to try and push my way deeper in.
Yeah, you easily push your way through, either by force, more than finesse. And as you push in against one of the low-bearing beams that hold the door, you hear the roof start to creak and crack, as if it was about to collapse in on itself.
Oh, guys, I think I'm in trouble.
All right there, Doug. Hold on. Nope, didn't take that cantrip. Never mind, you're fucked.
You will at least know that you have to be careful as you navigate the interior of this building. Excuse me.
But do I, though?
Doug, no. Doug, no.
How far away am I from the still?
The still is on the back side of the building. You saw it as you were approaching, as you're moving up to the building. So to get to it, you would go either come back outside and go around the back, or you'd continue to push your way through the house. The house is relatively small. It looks like it's 5, 10, 15 feet wide, 20 feet long, maybe 25 feet long.
I'll just keep pushing through toward the still, looking for moonshine.
Okay, give me a DC 13 athletics check. That's 25. As you push through, some of these old pieces of furniture, and they wilt under your strength. And you push on one of the load-bearing beams, or at least load-bearing until Doug got a hold of it, and that portion of the roof gives way. Doug, you're going to take some damage here. Let me get a dexterity saving throw, DC 12.
Let's see. I think I have advantage on dex effects that I can see.
Yep.
Can I see this coming?
Yes, you can. As you push on it, you hear the creak, and then you look up, and the roof starts to cave in on you. At 17, that's successful, so you take half of 2d6, which is, I rolled double one, so take 1 point of damage as part of the roof collapses. But I mean, Doug, as big as you are, you're like, you might tell me how you think about this little piece of the roof falling upon you.
I hear the crack, and then I see it coming, and like my trunk goes up with just out of instinct and kind of grabs onto it, and then I lift up one of my arms and kind of brace for the roof to come down, and I just push it off to the side.
Nice. And so you make your way through this building out to the back, where you see some old rusty barrels, and a few of them are tipped over, and inside one of the barrels that are laying to the side, you find what looks like 3 bottles of moonshine still intact. They're corked with the top. Looks like some wax was poured on it, and there's some leather that has been wrapped to keep them sealed. These are worth 5 silver pieces each. So you've just quadrupled your income.
I instantly crack one open and start drinking it.
It is really strong. Like, this has been sitting here for a while, and whoever made it didn't thin it out, and it's really, really like, whoa. But I don't think it affects you as much as it might affect your friend Snaggletooth. And what is the rest of the party doing as you guys see yourself outside and you see Doug kind of force himself into the building, and then you hear you hear what you frequently hear in small confined spaces is Doug pushing himself from one end of the building to the next.
As soon as I saw that his gut hit the door first, I looked at the shack and watched it shake and move. So I just lean over to Demetrius and go like, this isn't going to end well. Or, I mean, maybe it ends just how Doug wants it to. I don't know.
Yeah, he's going to be wearing that building in a little bit.
Yeah, I know as a friend I should warn him to come out of there, but I'm kind of curious to see what happens.
But are we taking bets? What's the over under on the the shack going down?
I don't think anyone's taking that under.
Yeah.
I think that's a fair point. Reggie? No, he's not smart enough to bet anyways. All right. The fuck's up with the fire?
Take a closer look. Does it look like somebody was cooking over there, or somebody was actively around this place anytime recently?
Give me a perception or survival check.
Can I give them advantage?
Sure.
I will go survival. A dirty 20.
Somebody was definitely here within the last few hours. Looks like they were heating up some water for some kind of tea. There is a small metal burner. Looks like they pulled it out from inside a metal burner that would hold typically a beaker, but it looks like it was holding something else. So they were heating up maybe something to drink, maybe some tea.
Yeah, whoever it is hasn't been gone for long. Maybe a couple hours. And I keep side-eyeing these trees with these cobwebs, hoping that they are cobwebs and not actively filled with spiders.
Give me a perception check.
Oh no, maybe I shouldn't have asked.
While he's looking for that, hearing that they were here within the last couple hours, I'll start looking for tracks.
It's a dirty 10.
Nice. 10, you don't see anything. The cobwebs are thick. The density of these trees are thicker, and it's hard to see in between. But you can make that roll, Snaggletooth.
Would you prefer perception or survival?
Survival would work for tracks.
You got it.
I think with 14, it's pretty easy to find tracks. The tracks step onto the bridge and continue to move in this easterly direction. Inside the building, though, there are, Doug, as you made your way through the building, there are other containers, similar to the metal containers that were out here.
All right. I think by this point I'd be sitting down, leaning up against a barrel, just sipping on one of the jars.
All right, well, looks like our guy was here a couple hours ago at the very least, and he went to the left. Or right, sorry. I can smell the moonshine from here. It's starting to mess me up.
And
he went west.
And as you look at the tracks, you see Doug sitting over here, an open bottle in his hand, having himself a drink at the bench.
I mean, it seems like the little guy went in that direction. Does it look like the big guy went that way too?
Oh, that's a solid point. I don't think the big guy would have been able to get over the bridge in the first place.
Does not look like the big guy has been at this location.
Looks like we wound up on Team Appetizer after all.
You might have some information on where the big guy's at.
You know, I'm sitting here and I'm thinking about it. What are the chances that we have like a, you know, we got a muscle and brawn, or a brain and brawn situation on our hands here. You know, because like I'm looking at Doug, he's our big guy, but would I really leave him in charge of stuff like this, like stealing a sunstone? Probably not. Think that'd be more like an us thing to do, you know?
Us, a very intelligent us. All right. Well, then after the little guy, once Doug's finished with his refreshments,
How you feeling over there, Doug?
When you see me, I'm like, I take a sip and then I look up at the sun for a while, and then I take another sip. I'm not really paying attention.
I heard that if you look at the sun enough, you can strengthen your eyes like they're muscles.
Huh?
Yeah, that sounds about right. Never mind.
You guys want a drink?
Actually, I'll take a shot. Yeah.
Snaggletooth, give me a con save. DC is 10.
You know, it's gonna be fine. You know, it'll be all good. DC 10. Where are my saves? Here they are. Yeah, it's gonna be fine. You know, it's
I think what we see is Doug's over there just chugging, and Snaggletooth takes a drink, and then he immediately starts coughing it back up, like that kind of booze that you've had. It's like, oh, I can drink this booze, and then it goes down the wrong pipe, or at least that's what you make it seem like, because it's super strong. Not that anybody here has ever had that issue.
I think that's actually ethanol. Oh my god.
It's good.
Doug is built out of tougher stuff than me. Oh my god. All right. Never mind. I'm never doing this again.
Safi, you're right here.
I'll stow the other two jars, and then I will slowly get up and lumber over to the rest of the group.
As you guys
Yes, off we go.
find yourself in the middle of this still, the abandoned still, spider webs, not really seemingly containing spiders, you continue on your way through the swamp. After what feels like an arduous trek long through the most dismal part of the swamp, the trees hang overhead, there's buzz, you have to carefully make your way through the swamp, stepping where the water isn't. The fog hangs heavy, and the twisted trees seem to watch you with malevolent intent. You arrive at a small, muddy island. It's not really small, but perhaps in comparison to Vostar, it is small. At the back of this island sits a crude, unsettling structure. It appears to be more of a haphazard collection of swamp debris than a proper dwelling, with walls of woven branches and mud, and a leaky roof thatched with reeds and bits of scavenged animal hides. The air around the hovel is thick, with a strange, potent aroma, and there is a sharp, earthy scent of various herbs hanging from the eaves to dry. The stagnant smell of surrounding water and the faint, musky odor sends a little bit of a shiver down your spine. It's these unsettling trinkets, bones tied with thread, and feathers pierced with thorns. Small carved wooden figures dangle from branches of gnarled trees that grow on the small island. A dim, flickering light emanates from within the hovel, casting long, distorted shadows on the muddy ground. You hear a faint stirring of something inside, perhaps a low crooning of a song, or the rustling of dry leaves. The island itself is surrounded by murky water, choked with lily pads and other floating vegetation, making it difficult to approach silently. There's a sense of magic and ancient power emanating from this place, a feeling you're trespassing in a domain of something not entirely natural.
All right, guys. Really quick, and I'm going to cast Pass Without a Trace.
Mm-hmm.
You ever feel like you're not supposed to be somewhere, and the trees want to murder you? Yeah, that's what I'm feeling right now. So I'm gonna try and make it a little bit more sneaky, and maybe we can walk up quietly and see if the little dude's got this thing. If not, we can just get out of here. But if they got it, I think we're gonna have to take it from them. That sound good, Doug? You're not gonna charge in till we say, or do I guess I can't stop you.
You want me to toss you?
No throw. Not yet, at least.
Whose house is this?
That's a good question. I think it's Lil Dude's house. The little feet that we've been following.
Are we gonna visit?
Yep, but we're gonna visit. It's a surprise party. We're going to surprise them with the party. So we're gonna, we got to be sneaky, or else we're gonna ruin the surprise.
Resilience.
Well, that sounds fun.
Yeah. I'm gonna look at the other two, like thumbs up, thumbs down. How are we feeling about this?
Thumbs up.
Snaggletooth, you have been given resilience from Push Island. So mark that down. At any point in time, you can add your proficiency bonus to a roll, even after the DC has been given to you.
That's really cool. Awesome. Thank you.
Thanks, Push. Appreciate it. So I would like to get a Arcana or investigation check from anybody in the group who would like to give me one. Got a 6 from Sephirendi, a 7 from Demetrius. $14 from Snaggletooth. And 12 from
Con
Doug.
saving throw right after too.
What did I say, the DC? I said 15, right?
Did you?
The,
Can I use my heroic on it?
yeah, you can use your heroic on it. Absolutely.
I was actually just gonna use that resistance right now.
Oh.
Yeah.
Well, you should use the resistance right now because I failed.
You know what?
Yeah.
I will.
DC
I think that'll
15.
be great. Thank you, Push.
So that makes it a 16. As you look over here, this area is affected by hallucinatory terrain of some kind. As you stare through this arcane magic that has warped this terrain, and where you saw like flower bushes and things of that nature, almost it had a fey-like quality. You see old moss growing from it, and you're not sure you can trust the terrain around here. And so with you being successful on the Arcana check, you can give me a DC 15 wisdom perception check to spot the areas here that...
Oh, you gotta be kidding me.
Double 14.
I'll use my no, wait. Actually, I don't think I ever got gifted a heroic. Big rips. All right, I don't have one. Yeah. Can't believe I missed it by one. That sucks. All right.
Yep, it happens. But what you do spot with a 14 are small glowing insects that hover to both the left and right side of this hovel.
You know, guys, I'm gonna throw it out there. I think our little guy friend over there is a bit of a trickster.
Heroic inspiration.
And you know, maybe check twice before you take a step. That's all I'm saying. I don't know much about that. Other than those bugs look suspicious.
When you say throw it out there, I go to pick you up to toss you.
Whoa there,
you're
big guy.
tossing?
Whoa. Nope. You're right. I shouldn't have used that kind of vernacular around you. I should have known better. I'm going
put you
to
down.
Thank you. Thanks, Doug. Just take 2 steps before you take 1.
Huh?
Snaggletooth, you've been gifted a heroic inspiration from chat.
Thank you, guys.
As you say, take 2 steps. Before I take 1, I take 2 steps.
Well, I guess we can just do it this way too.
While you're having this conversation out on the walkway that approaches this hovel, a decrepit creature walks out onto the foyer or out onto the front patio and starts messing with the herbs and the different components that hang along the eaves of her hovel. She's carrying a walking stick that curves at the top. Her hair looks like it's covered in muck, bones, and miniature skulls of some kind of swamp beast. She looks casually in your direction before she goes back about her business. The glowing orbs move of their own volition and somewhat surround her and start orbiting her, and looks like she's having a conversation with them.
Can we hear what she has to say from here?
Give me a perception check. Or if you have observant and you can read lips, let me know too.
I don't have observant. I have an expertise in perception from being a ranger, so.
Okay. Yeah. That's way better than a 14.
Yeah.
She's. Do you know Sylvan?
I do.
Yeah. She's like, my good friends, don't let those folks over there make a mess of the place. I just cleaned up and I've got some important herbs drying. But if they get too close, please give them a little bit of a warning to go someplace else. I'm somewhat busy today after the long nights last few days. Okay. And she kind of taps them as if she's petting a bird, and they continue to float out in front of the hovel.
Well said. All right, guys. Jig's up. She knows we're here anyways. We probably spent too much time talking. That's on me. At this point, I say parties, surprise party's done. We can probably just go say hello.
Hello?
Perfect.
She looks back in your direction and gives you a little wave of her decrepit hand, smiles, her jagged teeth rotting and decaying, her eyes green, glowing in the dim light of the canopy of this swamp forest.
In Sylvan, I was like, hi there. We don't want to trespass, mainly because you already saw that we were here. Can we chat with you?
So you want to chat, do you? Sure. Don't step there or there. And she points out some areas, and these glowing orbs move and hover over areas where you shouldn't step as you make your way across the raised walkway that is built over almost 100% swamp water. And you make your way. She goes, okay, that's far enough. And she stops you about 30 feet from where she's standing.
That's fair.
Where are you here?
I will look at my friends and be like, all right, who's
Looking for the
who
sun
wants
in a
to
rock.
talk to her?
I mean, I don't speak Sylvan.
Fuck.
I speak Sylvan.
Perfect. And I will take a step back.
Remind me again, why are we here?
I
was just following you.
Sunstone orb. We were looking for the sunstone orb.
Yes. Good day. Don't suppose you've seen the Sunstone Orb?
Perhaps. Your Sylvan is quite nice on my ears, despite the look of you. Can you give me, perhaps, a description of this item you seek?
Did they ever describe what the thing actually looked like? Or did we forget to ever ask?
No, they described it, but they just described it as so bright it's hard to look at. But somebody stole it, so I'm assuming it's something small enough that you can hold in your hand. I don't know how you're
A fair
supposed to describe
observation.
something that's so bright that you can't look at it. So, yeah.
Well, I suppose that's as good a description as any.
Give me
There-
persuasion or deception if you want to tell a fib or see if you can persuade her to tell you what may have happened, or perhaps her part in this sunstone orb as you describe it. I know what you're talking about. What do you need it for?
We have been tasked with sort of reobtaining it for its rightful owners.
Of course. Give me that persuasion check.
There it is.
That's a natural 20.
Hmm.
For a total of 25. Yes, I took it. But it's not here. I mean, you can come in and check if you want. She gives you a leering grin.
And why did you take it?
I was hired to take it. They gave me
By who?
a couple of no-gooders. One a woman, one a man. Looked like they were elven, or at least they spoke the Sylvan tongue well. They were taking it to the Watching Willow tree. At least that's what they told me. So, they provided me with some rare unguents and herbs, and she gestures to the items hanging in her eaves that will help me complete what I need to complete. So, it is not here, if that's what you're after.
Well, if it's not here, we'd settle for some directions.
She gestures. Don't take the left path. Take the right path as you come out of my home and across my bridge. Turns left and it turns right. Stay to the right. But, of course, as the swamp opens up, you can't miss the Weeping Willow or the Watching Willow. And she giggles to herself. It's like nails on a chalkboard. The sound grates on your ears. But it is over there.
Do we know what Grandma's name was? Is? So we can, like, report back to the city later and be like, hey, she can take it anytime she feels like it.
Can I poke one of the orbs?
You go to poke it. Make an attack roll. Unarmed to strike. That's a 23. You go to poke it, and it moves so quickly, but Doug, being the genius that he is, anticipates its movement and pokes it, and you hear almost like the swamp start to hum and echo, and she says, hey now. And she reverts to common. Don't disturb my pets.
Sorry.
And you poke
Doug,
it.
We've talked about this. It's rude to poke people's orbs.
And it turns invisible, and you hear it almost circling around your ears as you hear it.
I start flapping my ears to try and get it away.
She says something in Sylvan again. Come away from that brutish man, please. And you hear the hum kind of move away from you. Doug. And Sephirendi and Snaggleteeth, you hear it getting closer. I'm afraid if your friend pokes my pets again, I'll get very angry.
I think we're going to be out of your hair here in a moment, ma'am. Do you mind if we have your name?
I was once known as Mara. Mara the Beautiful. She gives you another leering grin.
I think the name is still apt. All right. And I would like to can I roll an insight check just over this conversation? Was she being truthful about not having the orb anymore and sending it off with two other travelers?
Yes, give me an insight check.
Oh, VTT not found. Okay. Well, I don't want to lie. I rolled on D&D Beyond, and I rolled like a 5.
Nice.
So, that shows me for not rolling on the correct VTT.
It happens. But as far as you can tell, she's telling the truth. She's also telling you the truth that she was not very happy that Doug was poking her pets.
Yeah. All right, big guy. I think we need to go track down the other big guy. We just need to go back over the bridge, take a left, and take a right. It sounds like they're at this watching willow. And for that matter, do we know anything about the watching willow, having been around here?
I don't think you've been this deep into the swamp, but anybody can make me a history check. The DC is going to be pretty high, that you may have heard of the watching willow. It's a 15 from Sephirendi. It's a 19 from Snaggletooth. Demetrius or Doug?
Yo.
Oh, classic, not 20.
Wow.
It's like the only thing he knows.
I'm gonna I think it being a nat 20, we'll just go by Pathfinder. You've heard of the Watching Willow, but only because you've wanted to visit there, because apparently there are supposed to be gigantic frogs there. And you've never seen a gigantic frog.
Makes sense. Oh, we get to see the big frogs.
They got big frogs there?
Yeah.
All right, buddy, let's get you a big frog. Lady Mara, thank you.
Thank you, and good luck with the croaker.
Is there anything else you want to say here, Romeo?
No, I think that covers it. Best not to press our luck here.
She smiles again at Sephirendi before she heads back into her hovel. And you guys make your way back across the wooden bridge suspended 6 inches above the waterline. You make your way back to the path and you continue on, following her directions specifically. And this trail comes to a large clearing. The ground is churned into a muddy morass. The colossal willow tree stands sentinel in the center, its branches drooping like weeping curtains, their tips trailing in dark, stagnant pools at its base. The air here is heavy with the cloying scent of damp earth and the pungent odor of decaying fish. Deep, resonant croaking you heard earlier echoes closer now, vibrating the mud beneath your feet. Dozens of large green frogs, some nearly the size of dogs, hop on the lily pads and lurk in the shadows beneath the willow's roots. Their bulging eyes watch your every move with a disconcerting stillness. The ground in this area is uneven, with patches of thick mud interspersed with tangled roots and slippery moss-covered logs. The massive roots create a network of natural archways and hidden alcoves around the pools. But the feeling of being watched is intense.
If you guys don't mind, I can chat with one of the frogs real quick, see what we might be stepping into.
The constant
Or
drone
we can just go full send.
The constant drone of insects is almost deafening, punctuated by the rhythmic croaking of frogs. The sheer size and age of the willow tree lends an ancient and somewhat menacing aura to this place, as if stumbled into a forgotten corner of the world ruled by primal forces. Give me a perception check, team.
Visual or smell related?
Visual. It's a 18 for Snaggletooth. Sephirendi, that's a 16. That's a 20 for Demetrius. All three of you see a strong glow coming from the roots of the trees near the base of its trunk, as if the sun itself is trying to pierce through the gloom. But what you also notice are random bits of fine clothing and fresh blood mingled with the muck near the tree. What happens now?
I will use primal awareness to
Mhm.
cast Speak with Animals.
All right.
I'll look over at one of these big frogs. Hey, big guy.
Yes.
Oh my god, I think I love you already. Anyways, it looked like, so there's clothes that people like us wear, and there's a ton of blood. What happened?
Dinner. You hear others frogs. Dinner. Good. Dinner. You'd look good too. Dinner.
Oh fuck, guys! I think in common, like, I think these guys want to eat us.
The feeling's mutual.
I can't believe you're talking to him.
And back to the frogs. They're like, all right, well, dinner, sir. Not yet though. We're not quite put together enough for you. Is there somebody in charge so we can become well seasoned for you?
No, but I think we're gonna have dinner now.
Ah,
I will
shit.
warn you, last group of toads tried to eat us, got very bad indigestion.
Yeah, what he
So-
said. Last group of toads.
Let me pull you over really quick.
I got hit with the hypno toad in the Discord chat.
Nice. Nice. Let me make sure y'all are in location. Shout out to Forgotten Adventures for this dope Willow Tree map. Those guys make some good stuff too. I can't disconnect Sephirendi. And there we go. And you were talking to this guy right here. And you see other creatures.
Sorry, where's right here?
Did I activate the map appropriately?
Okay, now I see.
Yeah. As this creature leaps towards you. So I'm going to ask for, before we start initiative, can I get a perception check from the group?
Fuck.
Visual or smell?
Visual. That's still pretty good. All right. For those who succeeded, you can see these areas where the water is deeper in places. Can I get everybody to roll initiative?
What was the DC on seeing that?
14.
Okay.
So I've got Snaggletooth, Sephirendi, Demetrius. Doug, are you on there?
I am not seeing my character in Boundary, so I rolled through. I got a 4.
Got it. Oh, so did I. Can you see your character here?
Yeah, I can now.
Okay, cool. As you're having this conversation, a large croak is let out from this frog as it leaps in your direction. But Snaggletooth, you were too fast. And it is your turn to act.
Yeah, I don't know about that, bud. I don't think that we should be there so much as we might want to eat frog legs later, and then I'm gonna shoot. You try to talk to a guy, and they just fucking attack you.
These these large frogs, have an AC of 11.
All right, well, 26 will definitely hit that.
Yes.
All right, first attack. 10 points of damage. Second attack at the same guy. $22 for another 10 points.
As you strike this creature, your arrow or your crossbow bolt slams into this creature as it takes it in the eye and it slinks back into the muck.
All right. I will then use my bonus action to command my good friend Reggie here that if any enemies get close, to take a bite. And that'll be my turn.
You might be on mute, Hollow.
Yep, I'm talking to myself and going crazy. This the frog attempts to bite at Sephirendi with a 13 L streamer. I'm assuming that misses Sephirendi.
That misses.
It is now your turn.
I am going to cast Hypnotic Pattern across all three of the 3 frogs I can see. They should all fit in a 30-foot cube. So they all need to make wisdom saves.
They're smart creatures, or wise as it were. Let's go top to bottom and left to right. Oops. Hello, open. Wisdom saving throw. That is a 12
They need to roll a 15.
and a 15.
I'll use my reaction and cast Silvery Barbs on the one that succeeded.
Nice. He will attempt to re-roll and get a 12. And the last one will get a 4. So what happens?
They are all just standing there with dumb looks on their faces.
Nice.
Well, dumb for frogs.
Yep. Does that air effect stay up?
Stays up as long as I concentrate.
Whoops, I made you disappear and not concentrate. All right. They are all affected. Any bonus
We can
actions?
take them out at our leisure now. No bonus actions.
Demetrius, it is your turn.
Feel free to gang up on them.
Demetrius's hex will fly over to this frog buddy in the front. They are all foolish, so we will go with front foolish, and we'll throw a couple blasts at them. Hey,
Nice. Natural 20 for 26. 7 force plus
Nice.
7 critical damage, which is 14, which is enough to turn this creature into blue mush as your Eldritch Blast washes over them.
well, the hex damage goes on it as well. That one is wasted, so I shall go ahead and next in line, send second bolt. That might not be enough.
Their AC is
I can
11.
do math. There we go. 13 force.
That is, creature is now bloodied.
And I will go ahead and step behind my good friend Doug and end my turn.
You hear a massive croaking sound happen near the base of the tree as this creature comes up out of the muck and jumps and how close is that? Let me see. Hello? You guys close enough to it?
Huge.
That is 35. It's going to go down one. It's a big frog. Melee weapon attack. Reach is not 30 feet, it's 20 feet. Nice. And I think it's going to dodge. Doug, it is your turn.
What is wrong with these frogs? I'm going to move past that frog in case it wants to take attack of opportunity.
I think it's pretty dumb. Can it take a reaction there,
Yeah,
Randy?
No, they're incapacitated.
Yep.
Well, that one I hit, so it's not incapacitated anymore, right?
Well, that is the ultimate incapacitation.
I will charge up to the big one.
It is dodging.
Bonus action, I am going to rage.
Nice.
And there'll be a trumpet sound coming out of my horn. Brr, brr, brr.
Perfect. Ghostlight Games coming in with the raid.
Nice.
Thanks, Ghost.
When I rage, my little tiny tail kind of grows almost into like an alligator tail, and
Whoa.
my hands start to grow claws, and my tusks look like they're a little bit sharper.
Nice.
I'm going to attempt to make a claw attack against this thing.
It has a AC of 14. It is dodging. Would you like to reckless attack it? 8.
No.
That misses. Second attack?
I'll use my heroic for that attack.
Okay. Roll me a d20. Add your strength modifier. A 17 is going to hit, plus your bonus easily hits this creature.
It'll be 9 damage with the rage bonus.
Barely injured.
Second attack, 11 to hit.
11 unfortunately misses.
That'll end my turn.
Nice. As you're attacking this creature and moving, you hear the sound as these large dragonflies start to come from out of the swamp, hearing the croak from their king. They move forward. I think it's going to move here next to you, Snaggletooth. And it'll attempt to bite one of you, and it'll attempt to bite Reggie. Reggie, I'm going to attempt to bite you.
Reggie's going to try and bite it back because he has a held action for this.
Nice. That is a 25 to hit Reggie.
You know, just maybe.
That is 8 piercing damage from these creatures.
Oh, Reggie.
Reggie, make me an attack against this creature. It has an AC of 16 as it moves and dodges.
$16.
That hits. That just makes it.
All right, then you're going to do damage, and we're going to add a lightning strike on top of that. For a total of 5 back.
5 back. Creature is now barely injured, but that ends its turn. You've taken your reaction. The next one will fly. They fly 60. I think this one swings around towards Doug. Doug, did you do any kind of reckless attack or anything? You said no. And it will attempt to bite you as well. That is a 10 to hit. That misses Doug. Does that miss you, Doug?
Yeah, AC 17.
Yeah, that's what I thought. This next creature.
Sorry.
Whoops, I deleted him by accident. Now I'm going to give him some hit points. And he's going to fly near Demetrius, and it is going to attempt to suck your blood.
That seems backwards.
Yeah, it does. That's a 20 to hit
That'll hit.
for 7 piercing damage.
Not happy about that.
Yep.
I shall
Make a reaction.
take con save.
Concentration.
Yep. That should succeed.
Yep. This next creature flies up here next to you, Doug, and it will attempt to also bite you. That is a 13 to hit, which misses. Snaggletooth. There's a lot of enemies on the board here. What happens?
I fucking shoot some of them.
Nice. Make an attack.
I will first point of order, I'm going to bonus action command Reggie to attack the one that attacked us originally.
Nice. Originally, this guy over here? This guy here, next to you. Yep.
This guy here. Yep. So Reggie's gonna go ahead and stomp at him.
16
hit,
just
so that'll
hits,
hit.
yes.
Reggie's gonna deal 7 points.
Nice. It hurts pretty bad. It is bloodied. Would you like to use your reaction? Of Reggie?
I guess damage is just damage. I was gonna use my reaction on me, but it doesn't really matter now, does it?
Up to you.
In what order it goes. Yeah. Oh, hot
Ooh,
damn. 6.
very nice. This creature's near death. As Reggie slams into
Perfect.
it. Lightning arcs across its body.
All right, good job, Reggie. And then as Reggie's biting into it with crossbow expert, I'm going to level my heavy crossbow basically against the equivalent of its temple and just pull the trigger. Hopefully.
22 hits. It has 4 hit points. Can you do it? Nice.
Boom. Take that one out, and then I will immediately flip focus with my second attack and shoot the big one that is attacking my friends.
$27 will easily hit this creature. For 8 damage.
Yep, and that will be my turn.
It is also bloodied. Well done. Good turn. This creature will stop dodging.
Incapacitated.
It is
Nope,
incapacitated.
incapacitated.
Yep. Do they get a save at the end of their turn?
They do not.
Nice.
They're hypnotic toads.
Well then,
The second one
Sephirendi.
should be awake, right?
Say that again.
Do they get their turn back if they take damage?
If they take damage.
Yeah, the one in the front got hit. He's bloodied now, so he got hit after the hypnotic bunny.
You shot them? That was not wise.
It was before there were other
That
enemies.
was the whole idea.
Sephirendi, that is a 15 to hit you. What's your AC?
16.
Then that misses. All right, now it is your turn.
Okay. I
Who do you
forgot
think of your
forgot to
slippery barbs to?
Yeah, that's
me.
right.
That's what I was about to say. I give myself advantage. I am going to decisions. I guess I will attack the frog.
The one here right in front of you?
Yeah.
All right.
Well, they just tried to attack me.
Yeah, 23 is going to easily hit this creature. For 5 damage, you're going to add anything to it?
And I will do a defensive flourish. So it's a D8.
Total of 7. Near death.
And then, oh, that was just my first attack. Second attack. Oh, that's going to miss. I'm going to use my heroic inspiration and re-roll that.
Yep, that missed by
For
1.
the same damn thing.
Yep, unfortunately, this
Okay.
toad moves underneath your swing, and you're unable to grasp purchase on its slippery hide.
Okay.
Can
Bonus
I use
action.
my? Well, hold on. Can I use my heroic inspiration and let them roll again?
Sure.
Are you allowed to do it on the same attack?
Go ahead.
Yeah.
Today we are.
You got it.
In a row.
What?
Jesus Christ!
That is
Wow.
not true.
Meant to be.
Wow.
I tried, buddy.
Should I buy you another one?
Another.
Okay, then bonus action, I am going to phase step up to the big guy,
Nice.
and he will take 3 points of fire damage because I am a summer Eladrin.
Very cool. Boom, 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 boom. Nope, he doesn't have any kind of resistance, so he takes 3. You're croak. Brr.
Do I take 3 as well?
No, it's only.
The
Oh,
Dungeons just
unfortunately, let me
redeemed
see.
heroic inspiration.
Sephirendi, you got yourself another heroic inspiration.
What does it say? Yeah, unfortunately, you do. Whoops. Oh, no, it says each creature of my choice. No, you
Yeah.
don't.
Do you have to make any saves for your hypnotic sphere in this place?
Not unless I got hit. Unless I took damage.
No, I mean, you face stepped into your
Oh,
into
no,
your
it's an
area of
instantaneous effect. It was only creatures that were inside that
at that one
box
point.
when the spell went off.
All right, cool. I'm gonna get rid of it. Nice. Demetrius.
Oh, the bug is being annoying. It did drink my blood. So I will move my hex to the bug, and I will reach out and grab it by, I don't know, bug parts.
Mm-hmm.
But whatever the piece between its head
Trying to
and
sense
its
wings.
body is.
Gosh. Terrible.
And I will attempt to hit it with a shocking grasp.
If it dies, does it come back as a vampire?
That should hit.
That's a natural 20. How much damage do you do? Way too much.
11, 17. 17 damage to bug.
Yep. You kill the bug.
And I ruin its blood, get annoyed, toss it down on the floor, and will, you know what? I will, just take a couple more steps. A couple more steps back. We'll be back here for today.
Look back and be like, we got this, Dimitri. Wait, where are you going?
Whatever you do, don't step off the map.
Start adding distance.
All into the
to
void if
myself.
that happens.
No, something bad happens. All right, this creature is going to stop dodging, and it is going to has a multi-attack, 1 bite, and 1 tongue attack. It is going to attempt to bite. I'm going to roll a D2 between Doug and Sephirendi. I'm going to go after Doug. Doug. This creature is going to attempt to bite you. Why doesn't it have its attacks on this thing? Bite is a D20 plus 7. That is a 20 to hit.
I will use my reaction, form a beast hell reaction.
Yep.
Creature within 10 feet hits me with attack. I can roll a D8 and add that to my AC.
Nice.
Wow,
Wow.
that's pretty good.
Yeah.
Yo.
Doesn't hit you. Second attack is a tongue, which is a d20 plus 6. Not 1d206, d20 plus 6.
No, I think 200 is fine.
That is a 23. Does that reaction last to the end of your turn?
No,
I think it's just for the one attack.
That is a 23 to hit you.
Yeah, that'll hit.
then I would use silvery barbs.
Silvery barbs,
as a
okay.
reaction, too.
All right.
And I again give myself
Advantage.
'cause swords
And
bards are
that
treacherous.
misses. It croaks twice as you silvery barbs it. Doug, it is your turn.
Oh, and he has disadvantage on his next attack.
I am going to make a multi-attack with 2 claw strikes.
AC is 14. 15 hits.
That'll be 8 damage.
And a 9. Do you want to?
That one's gonna miss.
Do you have any buffs or inspirations?
Nope.
All right.
I'll just claw at it once, digging deep into its skin, and then the second one just kind of shreds and does nothing.
Bonus action movement.
I think I will stay put.
All right. We start round 3 as the party is taking these creatures to task. Sephirendi, this creature will attempt to bite you. That is a 9. That misses. It's going to... Okay. Nope. Nothing else. The next creature will fly towards you 60 feet. Oh, I can only get there and dodge. And this creature will attempt to bite at Doug. Doug, I'm going to bite you and I'm going to hit you.
Okay.
Not really. That is a 11. That does not work. Snaggletooth, it is your go. Attacking that creature here next to you. It's near death. You might be muted, but yes.
I certainly was. You are correct. I was like, that's not the answer. Answer to the question I asked. I can do words so great. This dude right here, is he hypnotized?
He
Or
is
is
no
he,
longer hypnotized.
All right. Well, first and foremost, I need to protect myself and Demetrius. So I'm going to shoot that one.
His AC is
And I think
11,
I'll actually...
and he's badly or near death at least.
All right. Well, let's see if we can get that all the way then.
22 easily hits. He has 4 hit points. Can you do worse? No. As your crossbow bolt slams into this creature, pinning it to the muck, and it blub, 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 drifts down into the murky waters. Second attack movement.
Don't worry about it, Demetrius. I got it. And then I will flip the crossbow around and shoot the croaker.
Croaker is barely injured.
Perfect. I will cast Zephyr Strike while I do it.
Oh, nice. Get advantage.
Exactly. Boom. Yep. I will immediately use the
All right.
the actual ability of it. Give myself advantage, and then hopefully do some extra damage with it. Ooh,
16.
16?
16. Yes, that hits the creature. It's so large. It's hard to dodge your attack.
All right.
Ooh. Ooh.
And then I will go and stack on Reggie's D6 reaction to that as well.
That's 19 plus another 3 is 22.
Yeah, and that will be my turn.
It's now bloodied. Half hit points. Well done. This guy is hypnotized, right?
Yes, he is.
Sephirendi, it is your go. The croaker is bearing down on you.
I'm going to attack the croaker. Just say 16 hit.
Yes, 16 does hit.
Two, and I'm going to do a slashing flourish to add some damage to him. So add 3 to him, and the dragonfly also takes 3.
So that's a total of 8 on the croaker and 3 on the dragonfly, but he's going to use.
But I still have I get one more. I get my other attack.
All right, he's going to use the dragonfly's going to use his reaction. 19 is going to hit the croaker for 9 damage. Wow, very nice. Bonus action movement.
Sure, I am gonna face step again. And
Nice.
this dragonfly takes 3 points of fire damage.
Nice. Good turn. Demetrius, it is your turn.
I will go ahead and move my hex over to Dragonfly over yonder, top left over my buddy Doug, and shoot some blasts in its direction. Well, that'll hit, but not for very much.
Wow. Wow. That's 5 damage on the crit. I'm like above the table. I'm thinking about like implementing perfect crits for critical hits, but I roll a lot of 20s too. So
Yeah,
I'm like, I'm not sure. Maybe we'll do it on
personally
one
love
shots.
it. I love it both ways. We'll see.
Yeah, maybe
But,
we'll do perfect crits on one shots, bro.
Hey, perfect crits right there, though.
Wow.
Yeah.
So
you
that's
have
a
two-
total of 17?
Don't you have 2 more d6s? Or is it 1d6 for hex?
No, it's 1d6 for hex.
Gotcha.
Yeah, just
Good
the
roll.
length goes up, and then one more blast. You know, I could use another crit. That's not a crit.
A 10 unfortunately misses.
That one misses. All right, I tried. And there is unfortunately no more road for me to cower down, so I shall end my turn here.
You hear more croaking coming from down the path. I'm not sure if it's safe.
Come on, Demetrius, we gotta stick together.
Okay. Makes 2 attacks, one with its tongue and one with its bite. It is going to attempt to bite you, Doug. That is a d20 plus 7. I should have checked this before, but here we go. That is an 11. That's not going to do it. The tongue is a d20 plus 6. And that is, wow, 13. It cannot swallow you for the life of it. But it is now your turn, Doug.
Pretty large.
What happens?
If you'll allow, can I attempt to grab the dragonfly below me and slam it into the frog?
Let me see if it's immune to being grabbed. It is not immune to being... Yeah, let's do that. It is hypnotized. No, it's not hypnotized. That one isn't hypnotized. The frog is hypnotized. So give me a athletics check, and I will do a dexterity check to see if you can grapple it. How's that? D20
Sure.
plus 4. The dragonfly rolls a 6. I'm sure your athletics is at least plus 6, right?
Yeah, it's plus 7.
Yep. You grab onto this dragonfly, reach up, grab it, slam it into this creature. Roll. Give me an unarmed attack. That's a 12 against a 14 AC. Would you like to use... Do you have any buffs or anything?
I do not.
All right. I think the size of the dragonfly is so large that you go to hit this croaker and the wings vibrate through the air and unfortunately miss, but you attack to grapple and attack to hit it. So bonus action movement?
No bonus action or movement. I'll stay put.
All right.
I'm still holding on to this dragonfly, right?
Yep. Doug,
The
get
dungeon
an
has just redeemed heroic
inspiration. So you have a heroic inspiration you can use next turn. But you are still grabbing onto this creature. And this dragonfly is going to attempt to bite at you. It's D20 plus 6. Doug, that is a 19 to hit.
Is it disadvantaged because it's grappled, or?
It is this other one here that's not grappled.
Oh, that'll hit.
It's D4 plus 4 for a total of 5 piercing damage. And that is its turn.
Half from rage, or
Yep,
is it?
half from rage. So 2 total to you. This next creature is no longer dodging, but it is going to attempt to bite at you, Sephirendi, for a total of 11 to hit. Unfortunately, that's not going to do it against Sephirendi. And this next guy's grappled. It'll attempt to bite you. No, it's going to attempt to free itself from the grapple. So let's do a contested athletics. It's going to use acrobatics to get away. Give me an athletics check, I'm assuming. That's pretty good. Doug 17 and Dragonfly 17. Normally we would do like meets it, beats it, but let's just do another contested check. Since that sounds more fun. Give me another athletics check. That's an 11. And unfortunately can't get away.
Hey, stay here.
It's like trying to fly away from you. But we move to Snaggletooth. It's your go.
All right, I'm just gonna do the same thing I did last time. I'm gonna shoot the big guy a couple times.
All right.
Ooh, that first one will miss.
All right. Second attack.
Second attack. I will use Zephyr Strike once again, just to make sure try to make sure I hit.
Mm-hmm.
Boom, boom. Give myself advantage on this next one.
Wow.
Thank
17
God
hits, though. Yep.
Yeah. All right. That'll be normal damage plus D8.
Ooh. 13
plus
plus
D6.
5 plus 3. What's that total?
21.
The croaker is near death.
The first one will go wide, and I'll just be like, "Oh, all right. Well, Reggie, you got to kiss the barrel." As it starts to crackle electricity, I breathe deep, let the winds of nature guide the arrow. Shunk. And that'll be my turn. I'm more than happy to just sit here and be artillery.
Nice. This foolish giant frog is incapacitated. Sephirendi, it is your turn.
Let's see. I'm going to bonus action face step again. And both the giant frog and this dragonfly should take 3 points of fire damage. And
The croaker is barely hanging on.
and I will take a weapon attack against him.
10 misses.
Okay.
Demetrius. Way over here, hiding. Jay, what would you like to do?
Yeah, Demetrius's primal instincts are starting to take over. He's got his meal, it's bleeding, it's ready. I think he's going to go ahead and bonus action take his form of the predator. You see his fangs start to elongate and his fingernails start to sharpen as he's going to go ahead and gain 10 temporary hit points first.
Nice.
And then he's still going to go ahead and kill this dragonfly because it deserves to die. Because it should have died from that crit and didn't. So we'll take that first shot at the dragonfly. Wow. We're going to go ahead and take both shots at the dragonfly. I'm a little hungry right now, so it's hard to see straight. You know what? I'm just going to go home. I've decided that I decided I don't want dragonfly today.
Yep.
I'm gonna go.
Gonna get closer.
We're gonna get closer because apparently I can't see too good from that far.
Hey, D, you gotta wear your glasses, bud. All right. I know it's kind of hard here in the swamp, but
All
That's my
right.
turn.
This creature is going to attempt to bite one of the two folks next to it. 1, 2, Doug. 3, 4, Sephirendi. 3, 4, Sephirendi. It's going to attempt to bite you. It is a D20 plus 6. And I'll fix this next time. That is a 9. I haven't rolled over 12, I think, against anybody with the croaker. And he's going to attempt to use his tongue to grapple you and pull you into its maw. That is a 16, Sephirendi. Does that hit you, Randy? You might be
I'm
muted.
sorry,
Silvery barbs. All right. Another D20 plus 6. And that's going to be a 13. Not enough.
And I give myself advantage.
Yep. Doug, it is your turn. This giant creature is barely hanging on, wounds across its body, blood seeping from its slimy flesh. What happens?
I'm going to try and slam the dragonfly at it again as an improvised weapon.
All right, do it.
I will do it recklessly.
Nice. $25 will hit.
What would be the damage of a dragonfly?
It's got 2 hit points, Doug. How do you defeat the croaker, the king of the swamp?
I would think as his tongue was lashing out, I just kind of like take the dragonfly and shove it into his mouth, and his tongue wraps around it, and he starts choking on it. And he croaks.
And I think we're going to drop out of combat. Maybe, as my music continues to go. Not you, you. As this creature drops to the ground, the light radiating from within the willow tree as these creatures, not bound by the will of the croaker, the king of the swamp, start to leave and disappear, moving back to whence they came. You guys find some freedom in the moments ahead. What happens?
Demetrius dives onto the croaker's body and starts sating his thirst. As one does.
Alright, I'm just gonna throw it out there. We have an opportunity. We got the Sunstone here, and we got a Doug. We can have a new king of the swamp if we really wanted to.
I don't like the swamp.
Alright, well then,
it
never
is.
mind.
The downside of that plan is it is a swamp.
This is true. I can't argue with that. Alright, well then let's get the fuck out of here. And unless anybody else would like to, I'll probably just go sneak in there and try to grab the rock.
As you make your way,
No, literally.
as you make your way inside the area of the Sunstone, what you see are, in this area, a hollow tree. Inside the center of this tree is a witch's brew with various tables and man cages? What would you call those? With different potions and trinkets set across all the different tables. Inside, sitting on one of the tables, sits the Sunstone. Its glowing light echoing against the pervasive darkness that fills this chamber. What do you do?
Is there anybody in the man cages?
There doesn't appear to be anybody in there. On this left one here, there appears to be a skeleton.
Right. So, I was kind of under the impression that Mother Mara didn't live here. So if she didn't set this place up, then who did? I don't think a frog did it.
Well, possibly one of the two thieves that got Ed.
That's a solid point. That's a solid point. I'll just shout out and be like, all right, well, unless anybody says otherwise, we're gonna take this stone back and we're gonna go. And I'll like look around, waiting to see if anybody responds.
Nope, still sucking on croaker.
Nice. Doesn't appear to be anybody responding.
All right, and I'll
Finders keepers.
yeah, I'll just walk in and look around for traps. I'll look around and see if I find anybody in there, anything like that. But if I don't, I'll just grab it.
You can give me a perception check.
I would love to.
Nice. That is a 26. So the Sunstone is obvious as you grab it, but next to the Sunstone sits a few shiny trinkets. There is a tarnished silver ring and a handful of oddly shaped, colorful stones, and several clothes of perhaps the victims of ill repute.
I'll snag the ring and I'll toss that at Sephirin. I'm like, all right, here you go, pretty boy. You get the jewelry. We got some pretty rocks. Here's one for Doug. Here's one for Dee, and here's one for me. Assuming there's 3. I don't know how many there are.
There are 3. There are 4 actually.
Hell yeah.
And they are gems, sapphires worth 100 gold each.
Oh. And then I'll give another one to Seth. I'm like, all right, well, there we go. You also get a stone. Just so you guys know, there's a skeleton in there. There's some other doodads and stuff. But if I'm gonna be honest, I don't know how I feel raiding corpses. As Dee is eating one. It's a frog. It's not really a person. That's fine, I guess. But if you want to go in there, be my guest. I'm not gonna tell you no, and I'm gonna move on out and let them do whatever they want to.
Does the party do anything else?
Say there's clothing?
Yes, there's some fine clothing from some elvish individuals who have been eaten by the croaker and his minions.
Well, I'm always into fine elvish clothing.
You find
fine elf.
You find some noble clothing from the courts of the Shadow Fae that you're familiar with as you gather your clothing, and the party makes its way out from underneath the boughs of the Watching Willow, exhausted but triumphant. The party emerges from the embrace of the Gloomere Swamp, warm golden light of the Sunstone Orb illuminating your path. The oppressive fog seems to recede slightly as you near Oakhaven. The air feels lighter, less burdened. As you enter the village, the change is palpable. The fearful whispers have been replaced by murmurs of hope and anticipation. Villagers see you, and they see the Sunstone Orb. A wave of joyous relief washes over them. The old man Hemlock rushes forward, his eyes brimming with tears as he takes the orb into his trembling hands. A collective sigh of relief seems to ripple through the small community. With the orb returned to its rightful place in the village, a sense of peace settles over Oakhaven. The orb's gentle light radiates outward, pushing back the encroaching darkness of the swamp. The strange noises cease, and the wildlife seems calmer. The villagers shower with heartfelt thanks, offering what little they have as a token of gratitude. An old man Hemlock presents you with a promised reward, his voice thick with emotion. And Pippin Greenleaf offers you a hearty meal and ensures you have the ample supplies for your journey onward. And that's where we'll end our one-shot, The Myers Claim, for the night. I want to thank Andrew, Bondo, Randy, Jay for joining us on the adventure. Appreciate all your guys' fun and good times. If you like any of the maps here, we have some wonderful creators. I made 3 of the maps, one we didn't get to see. Forgotten Adventures maps, did the Weeping Willow, and one we didn't get to see, but I'm going to show you anyways, was the Hag's Hovel, which was an amazing map by one of my favorite creators, Angela Maps, who makes some just beautiful artwork here. Her maps are pretty amazing, and although they're made by Incarnate, I think she does a really good job of mixing different contents. ASKV for our tokens, but that's going to do us for tonight. So I appreciate all the bits, all the subs, all the follows, all the shout outs, the raids. Thanks, Eric. Thanks, Ghost. Andrew, when can we find you next?
Oh, yeah. Me and the Dunderheads will be playing from 10 a.m. to 7 p.m. on Sunday as we're looking to close out the Queen's Rooks a little bit sooner than later. So we'll be doing a big old marathon session until we're done.
Nice. It's really awesome D&D. If you guys love actual plays, I literally sit and listen to it for 8 or 9 hours that they go, provided I'm up by 10 a.m. But that's going to do it for us here at Hollowed RPG. Again, Andrew, it was a pleasure having you. Hopefully this won't be the last one. We can see you many more times in the future. This is a great time. But until next time, may your rolls be high and your storytelling legendary. Thanks, everybody, and have a great evening.
Thank you. GG.
Thank you. GG.